Tell me about Toys for Tots itself, because I know that this is something that you're very much an advocate for.
Yes.
And this is something that people out there can actually get involved in too. So give me your elevator speech, if you will. Give me your sleigh speech.
So Toys for Tots was started in 1947 in Los Angeles with one stuffed animal that the wife of a Marine captain made and gave to a needy family.
Okay.
And from there, it expanded, and the Marine Reserve got involved, and the Marine was actually friends with Walt Disney.
Oh.
And so Walt Disney created and made our Toys for Tots logo, the train logo.
No kidding.
Yes.
I did not know that. Okay.
And we had Marilyn Monroe on our posters. We've had other famous people help out Toys for Tots.
Okay.
And it became an official mission of the Marine Corps Reserve.
Mm-hmm.
And so they're tasked with doing the collection of the toys and distributing it to the charities that then give it to the families.
Okay.
Because we don't directly give it to anybody. We collect the toys. A charity comes to us, asks us for specific toys, boys, girls, age groups, and we then supply that to them.
Okay.
Unfortunately, where I live, the reserve unit was moved to another location, so we don't have one.
Mm-hmm.
And we cover 17 counties.
Okay.
And so the Marine who was in charge, Gunnery Sergeant Albert Roman, Vinny, asked me to help, and I was putting out boxes and I was collecting the toys.
Uh-huh.
And then I did a Toys for Tots event, and I was in regular street clothes. I didn't have the beard. I wasn't dressed as Gunny Claus.
Uh-huh.
And I actually scared the kids. And so I felt
Really?
like Krampus. I mean, I'm like, oh my gosh, this is not good.
Okay.
And so that's when I actually got the uniform together. A friend of mine was in the Drum and Bugle Corps that has the red blouse. This is an actual uniform.
Okay.
And they got this for me so I could become Gunny Claus.
Wow. That's amazing. Yeah. And how long ago was that?
That was almost 10 years ago now.
Wow. So you've been doing this for 10 years.
Yeah.
That's amazing. What is the what was the pivotal moment for you when you realized this was something you wanted to keep doing? When it wasn't just a one-off to get that particular job done. There's like, you know what? This is a mission.
Well, so the next time I did that event, I was able to go out as Gunny Claus, and of course the kids, saw the red and they came running over, and so it was great. But we were doing it. It was a 2-day event. We had about 15 stops, and we're on our last stop, and it's up by the Canadian border.
Okay.
And there are families there that are really in desperate need.
Mm-hmm.
And we would also bring blankets and coats and hats and mittens and gloves.
Okay.
And you'd actually have kids go buy the toys to get the jackets and the gloves and then come back and get a toy.
Okay.
And for safety, when we come in, they can't be near our vehicles.
Okay.
Because you don't want a kid to get hurt. You don't want anything to happen.
Right.
So this one family got in there super early. And when we were coming in, they got pushed back into the back. And so they weren't in the front to get specifically a certain toy.
Okay.
That we would give out at these stops.
Okay.
And it was a beautiful, gorgeous train set. I mean, fantastic. It wasn't Walmart. It wasn't Target. This was from a specialty train store shop.
Oh, cool.
From a group that would set up the train displays, and there were modelers, and they'd make their trains. I mean, it was a really amazing group. And so I had one of these toys.
Okay.
And the family's there. Somebody had heard that this girl wanted the train set and what had happened. Mm-hmm. And so she was looking around to find out who had the train set. Mm-hmm. And I have it. So I went over and I was able to trade her the toy that she had been given, which is a very nice toy. Gorgeous. Okay. She wanted the train set. She'd been there 2-3 years in a row to try and get this train set.
Wow.
And so when I traded her, she wasn't too sure about it. She's like, it's not quite a fair deal here. He's giving me a train set. I'm giving him a doll. But it was just amazing to see her light up and make that Christmas special for her.
Wow.
After she had tried so many times, and that's when like, okay, I can do this. This is the best thing in the world.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
I was going to ask you if there was like a particularly memorable or touching moment that you've had in doing this, but you just described one already.
That's one.
So
every year there's always something that just hits you.
Okay.
And no matter how bad things are, being in upstate New York, I'm standing out in this uniform and it's 30 degrees.
Yeah.
It's snowing. I'm freezing because I can't wear anything underneath this really, and I can't wear anything over it.
Right.
And you're like, okay, this is not as much fun as I thought it would be. And then something like that happens, and you're like, yeah, I can do this. This is no problem.
I could be here all day.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's the best kind of mind over matter.
Yeah.
I guess you could say.
Yep.
That's cool. So let me ask you another question. I know a family who are very interested and involved in Toys for Tots. They actually go out and buy toys as soon as like the sales hit in the fall at various stores, because they're trying to make sure they get toys for a certain type or a certain age bracket.
Yep.
So are the boxes that I see like at offices and stuff the best way to donate, or is there a better way that people can get involved to actually donate what you guys need?
So the local boxes are for your local campaign.
Okay.
And generally speaking, they'll stay in your immediate area.
Okay.
And so there are people who want to do something in their area.
Okay.
And so by donating to the box in your local area, it generally stays in your area.
Okay.
If you go to the campaign website, toysfortots.org, and you make a cash donation there, they will look at all of the campaigns. And if one is falling short in some fashion or another, they'll be able to give them some money, or they'll be able to buy some toys and send them the toys.
Okay.
So that they won't fall short.
Oh, that's great.
We don't want any campaign to not have the toys to give to the families.
Gotcha.
And I mean, we normally distribute all our toys the first weekend of December. That way, if there is any problem, if there's somebody that needs something that
you got time,
we've got that time to get it to them before Christmas.
Okay.
And the 23rd, the 24th, I'm out there driving a set of toys to somebody because something came up. A good example is, we all just saw what happened in Florida. The hurricane went through, families are destitute, they don't have anything. Yeah. And so, an emergency like that, we've got a little bit of reserve.
Okay.
And so we'd be able to give the families toys.
So numbers wise, how many guys are involved in doing this? How many Marines?
Well, it's an official mission of the Marine Corps Reserve.
Got it.
4th Marine Division, that's their job.
Okay.
On top of everything else that they have to do as Marines.
I see.
So,
okay.
But where I'm at, we don't have that. So
okay.
Where I'm at, we have a retired Gunnery Sergeant. We have a retired Staff Sergeant. We have a Staff Sergeant Reservist who lives in our area but is assigned to another reserve unit outside of our area. Okay. And we have a Master Sergeant who lives and works at another reserve unit but is in our area. Okay. And so those two are in uniform.
I see.
If somebody comes home on leave, on vacation, and they know that we have the program and they have their blues and then they want to come help, they'll help. Okay. So
would you say that's common? Like, I mean, anybody who hadn't thought about, I mean, they all know it's happening. So if they want to get involved, they can get involved.
They know what's happening, but when I'm talking about on leave is usually somebody who's on active duty. Yeah. And when you're on active duty, you don't always think of what the reserve units are doing.
Gotcha.
So, but they don't have to be in uniform to help. Okay. It's anybody can help. We have where we're at, Dunkin' Donuts is a big charity. It's a big organization that helps us. Okay. We have a school bus driver union for one of the local school districts. They help. They do a Stuff the Bus event where people come and donate toys and put it in the bus. Okay. We have fire departments. The local sheriff's department, Saratoga Sheriff's Department, has a Toys for Tots convoy. Okay. Convoy for Tots.
Okay. So, if people want to get involved with Toys for Tots, should I send them to a website or is there
the best
local
way
contact?
Is to go to the website. Okay. Which will then be able to put you in touch with whatever program is closest to you.
Gotcha. Okay.
Because you may see a program and it may not actually be in your area. And then you say, hey, I want to help. And they're like, okay, great. You want to help, but you can't help us.
Right.
Contact them, that's in your area. And they may or may not know who that is.
Okay. But there's a good database, a good way to connect through the website.
If you go to the Toys for Tots website, toysfortots.org, and it'll see, donate, volunteer, little drop-down menus, and then it'll go by state and by city and stuff, and it'll let you know. Okay. Some will have a direct contact, a direct website. Some will be on Facebook. Some will be on Instagram. It all depends on the program.
Gotcha.
don't get discouraged. Do not get discouraged. I hate saying discouraging words. Don't be discouraged that they don't immediately reply to you.
Okay.
Because unlike myself, where I have this now year round, not every program is year round. Not every program is in an office every day, because a lot of it is volunteers.
Volunteer, yeah.
And it's a reserve unit. Reservists work on weekends.
Right.
They don't always work during the week.
Right.
So don't get discouraged. Keep putting it out there that you want to help, and they may have enough help, so they may not need your help today.
Okay.
And so, they're busy, like anybody else, and so they may not reach out to you and say, "Hey, we're good. Call back later."
Okay.
So.
But patience is one of those virtues you should keep in mind during the holidays, kids.
Yes.
So
yes,
just, remember that.
Stay on that nice list.
So one more thing, and then I know there's something else I want to talk to you about, but I have to know, what do other Santas you've met think of what you do? I'm sure there's some other vets who are in the Santa scene, right? But I mean, but what are some interesting reactions?
So we have a Saratoga Santa.
Uh-huh.
And he does Santa year round like I do.
Okay.
When I see him in the summertime, he's got his Santa shorts on. He's got his Santa suspenders. He's got a Santa Hawaiian shirt.
Okay.
And we're really good friends.
Cool.
When he gets a donation, because he doesn't get paid for doing his Santa, when he gets a donation, he gives me a call, and I come and collect his donation, and I give it to Toys for Tots.
Okay.
I was in D.C. for the Irreverent Warriors hike, the Silkies hike down there. And we saw a honor flight come in, World War II, Korea, and Vietnam veterans. And, it's hard to miss Santa.
Right.
He's walking through, and I see him, and so...
Oh, so there's a guy who was a Santa among those
He's a
vets.
veteran.
Okay.
He's a World War II veteran.
Wow.
And he's a Santa. And
That's
so,
amazing.
we stopped, we took a picture, and of course, we had to prove the beards are real.
Do the beard pull. That's cool.
Yep.
That's awesome. So there's a synergy of Santas. Like, Santas do communicate with each other and sometimes help out when there's a cause involved.
What's the one that you're familiar with?
Oh, a Clan Claus.
Yeah,
or the Celtic Santas who we've talked about before. Yep.
Which I'm friends with on some social media. I can't remember which one, but I got to get more involved with them.
We got to get you hooked up. For sure. I mean, you have another project that you yourself are passionate about that you are trying to get off the ground.
Yes.
It has to do with music. So tell us about that.
So years ago, before I became Gunny Claus, I saw that there was a leatherneck drum and pipe out of Rhode Island.
Okay.
And they wore the dress blue blouse, and it was cut properly, and they had a dress blue kilt, and they played bagpipes, and they marched in parades. They've since disbanded. And so I would like to see that anybody that's a Marine, or I'm not going to be, selective and say, the other branches can't join. Because I do work with Annapolis, the cadets there, and their drum and pipe. Okay. So any veteran who wants to be involved and march in parades for our Celtic pride to contact me, and so we can work it out and meet up and start forming something up.
So you want to try and create an all-veteran pipe band?
I think all-veteran would be best right now because it, starting off inclusive. Yeah. And then if we were to get to the numbers where each branch would be able to have its own, then we could branch out and each branch could have its own, and then we could do a massing of the pipes also.
That'd be amazing.
We'd have all the branches together.
Yeah. Cool. But I think you're onto something, because I know that there are plenty of vets out there who are into who play pipes. There is a connection. I think usually they'll gravitate towards a local, like a police or firefighters band or something like that. But there's absolutely room for this idea. So
and it wouldn't have to be. They wouldn't have to play just with us.
No, of course
not.
If
they have a local,
of course not.
Scottish, Irish police. They're involved with. Yeah, they can. It would be great if they practice with them, because then when we get together, they'd have more experience. They'd be better at it. I have no knowledge of how to play the bagpipes. I can break things. I can't play musical instruments. I'm good at breaking stuff. That's why I joined the Marines. I'm not a CB. So
Gotcha. So do you have a separate online identity for the project, or is they just contact you directly right now?
I haven't
yet. Okay.
I will if I start getting some interest, because there's nothing worse than putting something out on social media and it gets no interest. Right. And then somebody 6 months later looks at it and goes, "Oh, nobody's interested in this. I'm not going to contact them because there's nothing going on."
Gotcha.
So it's that horse and cart routine.
Yep.
Which is first, which is
Very familiar with that one.
Yep.
Very familiar. So I think what we'll say is definitely contact Gunny if you're interested in this idea. We'll probably try to talk it up on the Kilts and Culture Facebook group at some point, and we'll check back in with you later to see how it's going and what else we can do to boost it, because I think it's a fantastic idea. I mean, music brings people together. Veterans need all the opportunities they can get to connect with each other. I think there's a huge potential here for service as well as, camaraderie. So any final words for the Pipples regarding either what you're doing or Toys for Tots or anything? What would you want to say to folks right now?
So, being a Marine, we have a lot of history, a lot of traditions. One of our most iconic lines, of course, is Semper Fidelis, or Semper Fi, always faithful. And since I'm dealing with other branches, I didn't feel it was appropriate to say that to them. They might be offended because it's a Marine saying. So I now say Semper Festivus. Festivus for the rest of us.
There you go.
Stole it from Seinfeld, Jerry. If you want credit, I'll give you credit. Give you royalties, whatever. And so, to make it more inclusive. The other one is the Marine Corps has a motto that the Raiders use, the Marine Raiders use. It's called Gung Ho, work together.
Yeah.
And so I've modified that a little bit too. So it's now Gung Ho Ho.
There you go.
And there's some different ways that we'll use the letters USMC.
Yeah.
So one is Uncle Sam's Misguided Children.
Yep, I've heard that one.
And so now it's Uncle Sam's Merry Christmas.
There you go.
So, and I think of a few others. Some work when I say it, some work when I write it. It depends on who I'm talking to and how I'm saying it. So
cool. And if people want to keep track of what you're up to, they should check out TikTok first. Is that correct?
TikTok is doing really good right now. I'm almost at 8,000 followers. Instagram, just under 9,000. But I've had that account a longer time.
Okay.
But TikTok just happened to blow up because of the Comic-Con in New York City.
Okay.
I also have YouTube, Facebook.
Okay, so basically you can look anywhere on socials for Gunny Claus and they'll be able to connect with you.
Yep.
Awesome. Very cool. So I want to thank Gunny Claus for showing up today. This has been a fantastic and very educational visit. It's just really great to meet you, and I really appreciate what you're doing.
I'm so glad I met you at the Celtic Classic, and I was able to come up here and be with you.
Don't be a stranger. Come on back.
I'm not that far away, so when I'm passing through, I'll definitely make some time to stop in.
Awesome. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.